Don't let it weary you. Don't let it weary you. Do not get weary. Is that thing wearying you now? Is that situation wearying you now? Is that person, that environment causing you to become weary? Don't let anything weary you. You're in a season right now where you can't afford to get weary. You were tired, the signs were there. You could have stopped. You could have walked away. You could have put it before the Lord. You could have asked for directions, but you didn't. And now you're weary. Maybe you've been at this stage before and you promised yourself you wouldn't be back here. Here you are, and you're just done. Are you at a place right now where you're saying, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm not going back through this, this is it, I'm done? Are you at that place and in that state because you got weary and you didn't have to get here? You went through all the tiredness, the overwhelming feeling, all of that. You went through it. You could have stopped. You could have asked for directions. You could have walked away. You could have made another choice, but you didn't. And here you are weary. You're weary. You're weary because of that environment. You're weary because of that situation. You're weary because of that thing that you're carrying, that thing that you're involved in, that thing that you're holding on to. It's wearying you. Don't let it weary you. This season is too critical for you to be weary and miss out on what you've been praying for. You can't afford to walk weary in this season. Do you hear me? You can be weary in the mind, in the heart, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and physically, to the point where you are just not functioning as how you should. You're not thinking as though you should. You're not sober enough. You're not making some decisions that you should, or the right decisions that you should. Weariness is a very critical place to be. You have to be very careful how you get weary in a season where you're waiting on God. You're waiting on God to do some things for you. You could miss your breakthrough because you're weary. Because when you're weary, you don't get to focus as you should. You don't get a chance to really apply faith as you should. Weariness takes away from your ability to really trust God. When you are weary, all you want to do is to give up and walk away. There are many who are contemplating taking their lives because they are in a weary state. You allowed yourself to get weary. You allowed the thing to overwhelm you far too long. And here you are, done, over it. You're just, how did you afford to get here? How did you afford to get? You could have put it down. You could have walked away, but you allowed it. You allowed it to weary you. And the Bible did say, don't get weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. Now you're at a point where you want to faint. You feel like fainting. Galatians 6, verse 9. Don't get weary. There's a harvest to reap. There's a harvest for you. There is something great ahead of this, and you allow yourself to get weary. Come on, believer, shake yourself out of that, because God is doing something new in you. Come on, tell God to renew you, replenish you, restore you, so you can get out of this weary state and get to where He wants you to be, so you don't miss another breakthrough, so you don't miss another move of God in your life. This season is too crucial for you to be walking around weary. Come on, weary soul, get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get out of that frame of mind. And it's time now to grab a hold on that which belongs to you. Maybe you have been at it for far too long, doing the same things you said you wouldn't do again. And here you are weary to the point where you're done and you're over and you just want to give in and give up. How many times will the Lord have to tell you to surrender this thing? You know, we could lose our mind trying to save someone else's mind. We could lose our heart. We could end up with a heartbreak trying to save someone else's. We have to be very careful how we weary ourselves, how we push ourselves to weariness in this season. We can't afford to get to that state. You got tired, and then you played with that tiredness. You ignored it to the point where you're now weary, and it's almost as if there's no coming back. Oh, weary soul, God is going to replenish you. Don't you allow that thing to weary you, that environment you're in, those folks you're around. I don't know what it is that's happening. Whatever it is you're probably attempting, trying to achieve, and it's not, and you are at, don't allow yourself to be weary. Never try to allow yourself to get to weariness. Believe us, sometimes it's hard to even come back from weariness. No wonder why we're warned not to become weary. When you're tired, stop and rest. When you're tired, ask for directions. When you're tired, ask God for intervention and help. Don't push yourself to the point where you become weary. And that's why he says, cast all your cares on him, because he cares for you. He wants to save you from weariness. Because when a mind is weary, when a man is weary, when their heart is weary, when they are weary emotionally and mentally and physically and spiritually, there's no discernment. There's no vision. There's no direction. You can lose focus on your purpose because you're weary. A weary soul can make any decision that will cost his or her life. You have to be very careful how you get to weariness. Come on, weary soul, get up quickly. Allow the Lord to replenish you, for there's something in this season that weariness is causing you to miss. And you can't afford to continue missing it. Come on, get yourself together. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what you're facing. I don't know what physically is affecting your body. I don't know what it is that's affecting your mind. I don't know what the situation is or where you are. Maybe it's a work environment. Maybe it's your home. It's your family environment. Whatever it is, tell God to help you out of weariness, because you should not even allow yourself to get there. Come on, weary soul, get it together, for this is a due season for something you can't afford to miss. Get out of weariness. Do not walk in weariness this season when you are praying for God to do something for you. Walk in expectation. Do not allow yourself, if you're not there yet at weariness, don't allow yourself to get there. Stop, rest, ask God for intervention, ask him for refreshing, ask him for direction, because when you get weary, you could miss your heart. You could miss your harvest. When you get weary, you could miss that which you've been praying for. You could miss holding on to that which is yours, because because you're weary, your hands can't even grasp what is yours. Weary soul, I pray for your strength today, for there is something in store that you must receive. Elijah was running for his life at one point, telling the Lord to take his life, all because Jezebel was threatening him. Maybe he would have gotten weary in that moment why he said, God, take my life. Because when you get weary, believer, even your life you don't longer value or see the importance of you existing. You have to be very careful to avoid weariness. It can cause you as a believer to no longer even believe in the God you've been serving all these years. Be very careful not to allow weariness to take you over. It can cause confusion, and don't allow that attempt of attack on your soul through weariness, on your life through weariness. Stay sober. Bless you. Also want to use the opportunity to say to you, my Facebook followers in particular, there's a fake page with my pictures and videos and everything going around. If the person sent you a friend request, do not answer it. If anybody asks you to donate anything or to invest in anything, do not send your money to anyone using my profile, using my name, using my pictures. Thank you.